Mikhail Khodorkovsky has been the #1 topic in the foreign media since the former Russian oil tycoon walked free following a presidential pardon. From Khodorkovsky's plans to fight for his imprisoned comrades to Putin's reasons for letting him out of jail, the 5 days of the ex-oligarch's freedom have been abundant with speculation and analysis. And Marcus Papadopoulos from the UK magazine Politics First has been following the case closely and joins us now live from London. Marcus, do you believe Mr. Khodorkovsky's promises to stay out of politics?
Well, Mikhail Khodorkovsky was found guilty of a very serious crime. He served his time and he's entitled to an opinion. His opinion is that there are political prisoners in Russia, and he has every right to have that opinion, and he has every right to try and highlight what his opinion is. However, he has to do that in accordance with the law, with Russian law, and he must not be allowed to embark on funding NGOs in Russia whose sole objective is to undermine the legitimate sovereign government of the Russian Federation. And it comes as no surprise that the West, in the form of politicians and journalists, have whipped up a frenzy over Mikhail Khodorkovsky. It's important for your audience to know really who Mikhail Khodorkovsky was. He's not some innocent businessman that was wrongly punished. Following the collapse of communism in Russia, the Russian state was on its knees politically, economically, and legally. And what emerged to take advantage of that was a very small group of very talented businessmen, including Mikhail Khodorkovsky, Boris Berezovsky, Vladimir Gazinsky, Mikhail Friedman, Vladimir Potanin, who took advantage of that to buy up pretty much all the assets of the Russian state for virtually nothing. And they made hundreds of millions of dollars. They enriched themselves. And by doing so, ordinary Russians, they lost everything. They lost their savings, they lost their pensions, they lost their insurance schemes. And because of the actions of oligarchs like Mikhail Khodorkovsky, ordinary Russians were thrown into abject poverty and into abject misery. This is not a man who should be glorified in the West. The only reason he's being glorified in the West is because he's a critic and an opponent of President Putin, a president who has made Russia strong again, unlike for the reckless Boris Yeltsin of the 1990s.
Mr. Khodorkovsky vowed to fight for the release of some of his former colleagues who are jailed now, but some of them were found guilty on charges of murder. So do you agree with Mr. Khodorkovsky's description of them as political prisoners?
I certainly don't agree with that whatsoever. They're not political prisoners. As you said, one of them was convicted of murder. The other ones, they were convicted of having been associated with the theft of Russian state assets in the 1990s. If Mikhail Khodorkovsky had done what he had done in Russia, but say in Britain, where I live, he would have been thrown into jail. There would have been no mercy from the British media, and quite rightly as well. Mikhail Khodorkovsky is a criminal, but he served his time, and that's what a justice system is about. But it's important to remember that while his company, Yukos, was built on the back of his company was built on the back of the pain and suffering of Russian people. He is not this innocent individual, this innocent entity that we're hearing. And also, you know, we can make links to Yulia Tymoshenko in Ukraine, who the Western media is portraying as a hard done by individual. She was an oligarch who made millions from the gas industry dubiously in the mid-1990s. That's why she's in prison. And it was absolutely correct when President Putin of Russia came to power that he removed these oligarchs from political positions of power. They wouldn't have been tolerated in America or in Britain or in France and Germany, and they should not be, and they weren't tolerated in Russia, and rightly so.
Marcus Papadopoulos, publisher and editor of the UK magazine Politics First. Marcus, thank you very much indeed for your time. We appreciate it.